Hi. You want to know something? Also, can we talk about this fit? Red and cheetah is so cute together. Also, so is red and turquoise. That is something that I recently saw together and I was like, obsessed. Obsessed. Now I want to do some room in my house turquoise and red, but that's wild. Maybe I'll just get an outfit and we'll call it a day. Anyways, I am someone who I'm skeptical of a lot of things, but I'm also very much so, I live in the camp of anything is possible. If you're new here, hi, my name is Alyssa Simpson. I'm a mindset and manifestation mentor, and I specifically help women become restfully rich as fuck, babe. Now, you're probably like, Alyssa, what do you mean you are skeptical, but also live in the anything is possible? Because everything in life is a healthy balance, right? A good 80-20. That's not even really balanced, but it is. I feel like I live a very 80-20 life, you know? Unless they put protein in cigarettes, then I'll start smoking again. And if that doesn't happen, then I've told myself I have to wait until I'm 70 to smoke again. But if I were still smoking, that balance would be tipped to where 80% is bad, 20% is good. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself now. I was working in my office, as I'm doing today, and I was thinking to myself, you know, what would other people think if they just met me, or maybe they've been here a while, and they're like, Alyssa, what makes you qualified? I fucking hate that word, by the way. But Alyssa, what makes you qualified to teach women how to become restfully rich, right? And it goes along the same lines of you can't teach someone to do something if you haven't really walked in their shoes. But see, I say that and then the thought just came into my head, what about Sully, the pilot who, this is a very chaotic video, bear the fuck with me, okay? But Sully, the pilot who, that plane flew into the Hudson River in New York and he landed it on the water. There's like a whole conversation of, you know, you want, like, if you're gonna be in a position where your plane might be going down, don't you want Sully to be your pilot versus like someone who's fresh out of pilot school or whatever pilots have to do to become pilots? And the answer is yes, always yes, but you can't teach someone how to react in a position where they have to react, where you know, like there's all of this stuff that we do as humans to like train and prepare and make sure that everything is going to go a certain way so that we don't fuck ourselves. But really, humans are so good at putting fires out in real time, right? Sometimes you freeze and it's like a holy, I literally don't know how to respond or react or whatever, but there's a beautiful instinct within us that does take over and things are able to happen. Now, if I was going to learn how to become restfully rich, and when I'm talking about restfully rich, I'm not talking about sitting on your ass, eating cookies all day, watching your favorite reality TV show, and also receiving buku money. Like, that's not the restfully rich that I'm speaking about. The restfully rich that I'm talking about is where you don't ever hustle or burn out or feel like you are going to lose your fucking mind while also receiving large amounts of money, huge lump sums of money for just simply existing, for truly honoring your rhythm and honoring the season that you're in without having to sacrifice money or abundance or wealth or freedom or any of those things. And I think, like, if I was going to learn how to do that, I would want to learn from someone who's done it. What's up? Done it, living it here and now. And I was writing in my notes app, I was like, okay, not that I like need to have some plaque on my wall that says Alyssa Simpson is restfully rich because she's done A, B, C, D, and E, but I've never like said it or put it somewhere for people to reference. So consider this that video. So what qualifies me to teach other women how to become restfully rich? Well, number one, I've been doing business as a coach for the past 7 years, and I've been doing it in a way that I've been always told to do it, right? Like market on social media, have conversations in the DMs, be authentic, show up as your natural self, learn from others, invest in things, outsource the things you don't want to do. Girl, I have done it, seen it, invested, spent the time, the money, the energy, all of the things. I've done literally all of it, right? And it still never panned out to be this huge ticket to my keys of freedom. That's not the saying. I didn't find the key to freedom by doing that. Whatever the fucking saying is, whatever. The ticket, the golden ticket, the keys, I don't know. Again, chaotic video, stay with me. And because I did it all, tried it all, wanted to make it all work, and it didn't work, I really got met with, well, now what? Right? After being screamed at and told and yelled at and constantly hearing from every side of the aisle that you've got to be using social media and monetizing and doing it this way and blah, 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 and it is not working for you, you kind of start to think, well, what the fuck is wrong with me, right? Like I never was on the cusp, oh my God, dude, this video is so fucked. I was never on the cusp of making something happen and it being like the thing that finally stuck, that finally worked. Like my messaging never was perfect. I never had a viral reel. I never had the perfect email that turned, or like the perfect lead magnet or whatever the fucking thing was, right? You start to think, well, what's wrong with me? Like, what am I doing wrong? And then you start to outsource your power. Raise your hand. Hi, my name is Alyssa Simpson, and I'm a recovering outsourcing my power to social media addict. Welcome, you're safe here. When you outsource your power like that, how the fuck do you expect the universe, divine source, God, to deliver anything to you if you're literally sending a message that you don't believe in yourself? You're literally sending a message that you don't think you're good enough, qualified enough, smart enough, whatever enough, right? Like you're putting all your power into an algorithm, which is man-made. Surprise, if you didn't know that, it's man-made. And anything that is man-made has never been like the end-all be-all to someone's success. Anyone who's done a fucking anything in this life or has been anything in this life has done it because they followed an intuitive nudge to do so. And I was just recently, like this past week, watching the Stranger Things documentary where it's mainly about like just how like the last season and all the behind the scenes stuff. But in the beginning, the Duffer Brothers talk about how like they did things so different than normal TV shows. And that's the reason why they are so successful and that show has seen such success, is because they did things that a lot of people told them that wouldn't work out, and it did. And then you're watching the show and you're seeing all of the time and the energy behind everything they were doing, because they literally just had a belief. Like they had a belief and they had a desire and they had this creative thought and they brought it to life. And there's a book called The Big Magic. I don't remember who it's written by, but in that book, it essentially talks about like an idea is going to come to you. And if you don't grab hold of it, it's going to find someone else, right? Because there's like magic in creativeness and being like the bring to lifer of creativity. And creativity is kind of a broad word, but it's also a word that we throw around when it comes to like arts and design. And no, speaking, like I feel like I'm a very creative speaker. Like like this video, again, chaotic as shit, but like it is what it is, and it's flowing and it's creative and it's literally coming to my brain and out my mouth. And you know, whenever you start to fit inside of a box to bring something to life based on rules and what should, could, would be to make, like someone else saw success doing this, so I should try to copy and paste it, and then you do it and then it doesn't work, then you start to feel like there's something wrong with you. But the reality is it's the thing that you are trying to bring to life because it's someone else's thing to bring to life, not yours. Like that idea found them and they're the ones that, you know, created the spark and brought it to life. Not you. Like that doesn't mean that you need to do it. I say that, but then I also have this thing that's coming to mind about coffee. You're gonna laugh. So you go to the grocery store and you go down the coffee aisle and there's so many fucking brands and types of coffee, and coffee is just a thing, right? But they're all like coexisting on this shelf, and people are buying all of them, right? Like, it's not like one is superior than other. It's all coffee, okay? We are all humans existing on the same shelf, and people are going to come and pick us and choose us based on us, like our authenticity, right? Like, not because we're shinier, brighter, smarter, prettier, louder, whatever. It's because you just are allowing yourself to be seen and exist. And that's the whole fucking point. But I'm going to go back to my original reason why I started this video, was to showcase myself and toot my own fucking horn, because number one, we don't do that enough as people. Like, we are so hard on ourselves, and it's kind of nuts, because would you allow someone in your life who is as hard on you as you are on yourself? No. So why are you allowing yourself to be so hard on yourself? It's crazy. It's wild. It's stupid. We got to stop. So use this as your permission slip. I want you to literally, when you're done watching this video, I want you to go either in your notes app on your phone, go grab a pen and paper, go in your car and drive the back roads and say it out loud. But I need you to say things that you are proud of yourself for, things that you have done, overcome, achieved, whatever. Like, what are things that you are super happy and proud about? Okay, we're gonna do that after this video, but please finish this video. Now, for me, what makes me qualified to teach other women how to become restfully rich? Because your girl has done it. Your girl, number one, is living the restfully rich life right now. And number two, I've done the girl boss hustle, work all hours of the day and of the night to try to bring this thing to life and try to do what others have done. And honestly, what's so funny is I had a coach before tell me that I am the queen of, what did she say? The queen of like landing on my feet or something, because I always I have an idea, bring it to fruition. I don't do a whole lot of like prep and planning and launching and all that bullshit. Like, I have an idea and I bring it to fruition, and if it flops, I'm gonna keep moving. But majority of the time it doesn't. Majority of the time it sticks and it lands and it becomes something really beautiful. And other times, whenever it doesn't do what I want it to, it's a really good opportunity for me to take what I enjoyed and roll with it, and also see the opportunities there and try to fix them as we start over. So number one, I am the Sully of the coaching industry. I have so much lived experience. I have done things the way that you are told to do, and I have seen success not following those rules. I was actually talking to my husband last night, and we live in Texas, and there was a law that got passed about something with the like religious thing. I do not watch all of the news. I don't know a whole lot about what the fuck goes on because I live in my own reality, but there's something that was along the lines of like what kids are having to do in school now. And my husband was like, yeah, I think by the time I was in high school, like I was so tired of saying the Pledge of Allegiance that I just kind of just stood up and didn't sing it. And I was like, I didn't even stand up. And he was like, oh my, of course you didn't. And I was like, yeah, I got asked to go into the hallway a lot because I was so like, I'm not going to do what the fuck you tell me to do. Like the Rage Against the Machine song, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Like that was me and is me. I'm just not as dramatic about it now because I don't have to like prove myself like I thought I did when I was in high school or my college years or my young 20s. I'm very self-assured and self-aware, and I don't need to beat my chest for people to know anything about me. But also in saying that, it's so easy to get duped by others on the internet and by others who may sound and feel authentic, and then you get into their space and you're like, what the fuck is this? And people should come with a disclaimer. If you are investing in someone to teach you how to do anything, it should come with a disclaimer, right? Like I want to know what qualifies you. And here's the thing, people will put their little fucking letters next to their name or like talk about like all kinds of crazy shit. Like, oh, well, I went to school and I did this and I got a degree and you're telling, I don't know, like that is so wild to me. Yeah, just to have like their little things on the wall. Like I get it, be proud of your accomplishments, but like that doesn't mean that you have the wherewithal to teach, guide, lead, help others, you know what I mean? There's, yeah, so many instances that we could talk about and go down a long trail of proof of why being a expert or having credentials doesn't necessarily mean that you are the person for others. But I think I'm going to start with my own little disclaimer, if you will. Not only did I try for the better half of a decade trying to make my business work through the lens of modern business, and doing so in a way that honestly wears you the fuck out. Whenever you allow yourself to get off of social media and get off of being so able to be contacted and connected, you realize how a lot of it is straight up just hits of dopamine. Like logging in, seeing you have a notification. Oh my God, what's the notification? And if you've noticed, Instagram and even Facebook does it too, but they notify you about shit that has nothing to do with you. But you see that little notification and it does kind of like get you excited and light you up. And if you're an entrepreneur, you're thinking like, oh my gosh, is this an inquiry? Oh my gosh, is this an opportunity to earn some money? And that's not the vibe, dude. That's not the vibe. If someone was ringing on your doorbell every time that you got a notification, you'd be pissed. You'd be overwhelmed. You would be overstimulated and burnt out, and probably putting a sign on your doorbell that says, do not ring this doorbell unless you are on fire. And that's how we should be treating social media. That's how we should be treating our email. That's how we should be treating our texts. You know, like you get to answer the door when you feel like you're comfortable with answering the door. Okay, I'm not going to answer the door if I just get out of the shower and I'm in a towel. Honestly, I don't ever answer my door. But if I were someone who answered my door, it would be where I have clothes on. I'm at least okay to like answer a question that someone asks or listen to someone's spiel if we have like a door-to-door salesman type of thing, or a Jehovah Witness comes, you know, like, do they even still go door-to-door? I don't know. Question for all of you Jehovah Witnesses listening and watching. Do you still go door-to-door? Do you still ask to tell people about Jesus? I don't know. I'm not a Jehovah Witness. That's not my life. I was going somewhere with this. Like being so like able to be tapped in. And once you get away from that, which I have been doing, and I've dedicated like the rest of my life to not being so sucked into an algorithm or anything that's man-made. And in doing so, you start to notice other things about yourself. You start to realize other things that are in your environment that actually stress you the fuck out and overwhelm you. And then you start to ask, is this worth it? Because there are things in your life that are going to stress you out and overwhelm them, but in my opinion are worth it, you know? Like thinking of dinner, what I'm going to cook for dinner every night sometimes stresses me out, because I could eat the same thing all damn day long, but I'm not just cooking for me. I'm cooking for my husband. I'm cooking for my son. So like, I want to be a little creative. I want to be able to throw something out there that we haven't tried before, but that takes like another level of bandwidth that I always don't feel excited to do. Right. So like that is something that like that kind of stress is good, because it causes me to be a little bit creative. It causes me to kind of open up my palate, because I am a picky eater, if I'm being totally honest. It's a good kind of stress, right? Getting stressed out because your house is dirty. That's a good kind of stress, because it motivates you to clean your fucking house, to dig out your junk drawers, to throw away all that shit in your pantry that you're not going to eat, to clean out your car, to all the things, right? Like go through your closet, donate clothes you're not going to wear anymore, whatever. Like that's a good kind of stress. But the stress that makes you doubt yourself, the stress that keeps you up at night, the stress that feels like your whole world is crumbling is not the vibe. And because I'm someone who has lived that life, I can very confidently say, number one, I got myself out of it. Number two, every person that I've ever worked with, I've gotten them out of it as well. And every person who is honestly in my life, that's something that they ask me about the most. Maybe not like very honestly, like, Alyssa, how can I get out of this? But it's always like in the context. It's always in the situation that they're in, or they're going through, or they're, you know, navigating. Like it always boils back down to that. Okay. And number two, because everyone is so hell-bent on living for a living, as you should be, by the way, like your goal and desire should be to get to fucking live and experience this lifetime, because you only get this chance to do life in this body with this opportunity right in here, right now, right? This is not my first time here. This is not my first time navigating planet Earth. But it is my first time in this body, in this level of awareness, in this learned lessons and learned wisdom. It isn't this first time for me, as it is for you, I'm sure. So I want to make the fucking most of it. And that's so many people's desire, right? Like the conversation is, Well, it's shifting very quick, but the conversation was for even like our parents' generation was go to school, get a good job, stay there for your whole life, then you get to retire at 65, and then you get to experience life. Well, both of my parents died. I mean, my mom, I think she was 66, and my dad, no, I don't know. My mom would have been 70 this year, so whatever 70 minus 7 is, that's what she was when she died. And I don't know, my dad was 66 when he died, and that was 7 years ago too. But they, I mean, fuck, if they would have retired, it's like you retire and then you die. I don't even think my mom wasn't even 65 when she died. So it's like, that's not even necessarily the case where you get to, once you hit 65, then you get to make it. Fuck that. I want to make it now. I want to live now. And I know that's a desire for you too. I know it is, or else you wouldn't still be here 20 minutes into this video listening to me about being restfully rich. And the thing is that you don't have to strike gold. You don't have to get in on an opportunity at the perfect moment, because opportunities are always going to circulate you until you finally say yes to them. They don't ever miss you. You never have a missed opportunity. That is a false narrative. That is a lack limiting belief. That is simply not fucking true. That's literally not how the universe works. It's wrong. It's wrong. Period, point blank. But whenever we are talking about becoming restfully rich and living a restfully rich life and getting to live for a living, and it all boils down to, number one, your relationship with money, your relationship with yourself, and truly and honestly being committed to unlearning all of the bullshit that you've been told up to this point. Because that's what it is. It's bullshit. It's all part of a grandiose scheme that's not a secret. It's very well known. How to keep you a cog in a machine. And thankfully, we are living in a time where we are watching that kind of disintegrate in front of our eyes. But even more so, when it does fully disintegrate, where does that leave you? How is that going? Like, what are you going to do with your life when you finally get the opportunity to live for a living? If you had every single thing that you've ever desired right now, right here in front of you, what would fucking change for your life? And whatever your response is should be what you do moving forward. And that's it. Okay? Now we're going to wrap this video up by getting back to the meat of this, because I keep veering off. Again, chaotic video, stay with me. We are getting to the point of it. So what qualifies me as someone to teach you how to become restfully rich? Well, number one, everything that I've ever achieved and had and lived through my entire life, it didn't come through hustling. It didn't come through working hard. It didn't come through busting my ass, if I'm being totally honest. And some people, I say that to them and it pisses them off because they're like, oh my, well, I had to work my fucking ass off to get where you are. Cool. Like, that's because you chose that. Like, that's because that's what you decided to do, you know? But here's the thing, like, you don't have to bust your ass. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to do any of those things in order to actually receive what it is you desire. Now, once you have that core belief and you truly do tell yourself that and you believe it and you feel it in your bones, what's the next step? Okay, for me, it was actually seeing it play out in real life. It was having the true, honest belief of like, I get whatever the fuck I desire time and time and time again. And that is a core belief of mine. Just like as a core belief of mine that I'm not going to go out and murder someone today. Like, I don't have that. Like, I have a belief that I am not that person. I'm not a murderer. I'm not going to do that. The same level that I have the belief that I always get what I want. You know, I always, when I set my mind to something, it comes to fruition, and I don't have to bust my ass because of it, because of that belief. For instance, I recently just had my very first TV segment on WFAA, Good Morning Texas, and I did it in less than a month of deciding I was going to be on TV. My podcast is being streamed in over 32 countries. That's an incredible thing. I released 60 pounds pre-pregnancy without diet and exercise. I didn't sign a single new client in 2025, yet I had my most financially abundant year. I have grown my financial portfolio by 36%, and it is in the multi-six-figure portfolio bracket. Whatever that fucking word is. I have never been in a more solid and happy relationship with everyone in my life than I have right now. And it did take a lot of uncomfortableness in some relationships, but it is like my relationships are more grounded, more honest, more authentic, more beautiful, more flowy than they've ever been. I have never been more in love with life than I am right now. And I didn't have to work harder at it. My business is now to the point where it doesn't take a whole lot of my effort because I simply chose for it not to be that way. Whereas before it was a lot of planning and sitting down and reading all of this like bullshit about how to grow your business and blah, 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 blah. My business is exactly where I want it to be, if I'm being totally honest. I have more white space on my calendar than I've ever had before, yet I have more abundance than I've ever had before. I get to actually be present with my child and not have to send them to daycare. There's only like 10 hours of the whole week where I'm not with my child, one-on-one, like spending time together, creating memories, but the rest of however many hours are in a week, the rest of those hours during the week, I am with him. I get to be present and I still get to have a business. And all of these things are done from such a restful fucking lens. Like I can't even tell you the last time that I was like, well, that's not, I was about to really fucking lie there. I was gonna say, I can't say the last time that I was overwhelmed, but I was overwhelmed last night coming home from the grocery store. Because my son does not like being in the car, and I thought I like planned our timing right, and he was losing his fucking mind. And if you've ever been in a car with a screaming kid, you would tell your deepest, darkest secrets to anyone and everyone just to make it stop. Like, this is what it's like to be tortured, for real. I know, I get it now. I've heard it, I felt it, I've been in it. But that's like, that kind of overwhelm is very instant. It's like a quick in, quick out. I'm talking about like true, like, I haven't woken up overwhelmed in a long time. I haven't gone to bed overwhelmed in a long time. It's been at least 2 years now that has not happened to me. And that used to be my reality, and it's not anymore. All of these things that I have brought to my own fruition and brought to my own life and brought to other women's lives is because I truly and honestly have hacked my own fucking system and understood the way that our minds work, the way that the quantum world works, the way that we work as our own divine creatures in this lifetime. And I'm teaching it from here till the end of time inside of my program called Restfully Rich. If you are interested in joining, if you feel like this is the vibe for you, link to apply is in the show description. Please hop in on this because it is limited spots. We are starting April 1st. If you're forever, whatever reason, catching this video after the fact, this is going to be an ongoing thing. So even if we are in the middle of Restfully Rich right now, still apply and we will go over the application together come the next round. Spots are going to go quick. Spots are filling up. Spots are going to be gone once they are all filled, but there will be a next time. Okay? You get to have everything that you desire in this lifetime. You just truly have to align your energy with that belief and do it unapologetic, do it restfully, and do it in a way that maybe makes everyone else go, what the fuck is she doing? Because that's the point. I'll see you next time. Bye.